When cross-cutting wood, the cut is made perpendicular to the grain. The wood fibers are severed as opposed to being chipped away when ripping. Consequently, the type of blade used differs when cross-cutting versus ripping. If you are doing a large volume of ripping or cross-cutting, you should take the time to install the proper type of blade. However, if we were constantly changing blades back and forth from cross-cutting to ripping, it would be very time-consuming. Combination blades are designed to handle either operation and give satisfactory results. In order to cross-cut wood, you need a means of holding it secure as it is fed through the saw. A miter gauge is used for this purpose. It slides freely in the miter slot and can be used on either the left or right side of the blade. A backer board will provide extra support for the stock. Miter gauges are also adjustable for cutting angles. If you're only making a single cut, mark the stock where you want the cut to be made. Bring it up to the blade and line up the mark on the wood with a tooth on the blade. Pull the wood and miter gauge away from the blade, turn on the saw, and make the cut. Never start a spinning tool while the material is touching it. Alternatively, pre-cut a fresh backer board. This will leave a kerf at the exact location of the cut. The layout line can then be lined up with this kerf. When cross-cutting stock, never use two fences together. The offcut could become trapped between the fence and the blade and may kick back at the operator. Two exceptions to this rule are if you're not cutting all the way through the stock, or when using a stop block to make cutoffs of exact length. Notice here that the stock does not reach the blade until after it has passed the stop block. This way, the offcut cannot become pinched between the blade and the fence. The offcut should be able to rotate freely between the fence and the blade. Materials can also be cross-cut using the fence. However, avoid trying to cross-cut any material longer than it is wide. This can be summed up as never cut past a square. If the material is 12 inches wide, your fence should be set no greater than 12 inches, and the stock length should be no greater than 24 inches. The chance of twisting as it is fed through the saw is too great. A better solution is to use a crosscut sled. One last thing to remember when using a miter gauge. Because it is a sliding mechanism, a certain amount of play will exist between the miter gauge and the miter slot. To counteract this, try to push at a slight angle towards the blade. This will give more consistent results. Finally, when cross-cutting wood, be sure to lower the blade guard as close to the stock as possible. And most importantly, be aware of where your fingers are at all times.